Hi, this is Aubriana from GamesKeys.net. I'm excited to share with you the story of Snufkin, a game that will take you on an emotional journey of Snufkin's adventures. Let's dive in. When the game starts, Moomintroll and Snufkin are sitting sadly on a bridge. Moomintroll is sad because Snufkin is leaving the valley. Snufkin explains that he is departing due to the autumn season, but reassures Moomintroll that he will return in the spring. With that, Snufkin embarks on his journey. Along the way, he encounters a nameless creature hiding behind some bushes. The creature feels insignificant because it hasn't been given a name. Snufkin explains that he is en route to meet an old friend, and the nameless creature requests to join him on his journey, following Snufkin from that point on. Snufkin meets Muskrat, who's struggling with the fact that many animals are leaving the valley. After a brief conversation, Snufkin continues his journey. He picks up 2 stones and places them in the water, using them as stepping stones to cross over. Snufkin can play the harmonica to summon any animal. He plays the harmonica for a sea creature and jumps on its head to cross to the other side. Next, he uses a crow to fly around in circles and then drops down into the bushes. Here, Snufkin needs a sheep to reach the upper level. He finds a nearby sheep and uses it to proceed. Now, Snufkin needs 2 sheep to climb up further. Once he reaches this point, he meets Sniff, who needs help to protect from a monster. To help Sniff, Snufkin uses a crow to distract the spider. The spider moves up, clearing Sniff's path. The spider is angry with Snufkin and demands a butterfly as compensation. Snufkin drags a butterfly to please the spider, and in return, the spider spares him for his past actions. With that, Snufkin continues his journey. Here, he needs to find 3 sheep to use as stepping stones to climb up further. Snufkin progresses on his journey, removing signboards along the way. Upon reaching the top, he finds a huge park scenery. Now, Snufkin needs to head towards the park entrance. When Snufkin reaches the park officers request him to take care of the park for a while. After the park officer exits, Snufkin enters the park and removes all the remaining signboards. Then he continues his journey, heading towards the next park. However, the park's gate is locked, and he needs a key to unlock it. He approaches a bird sitting in a nest, who needs help to rescue her ducklings. Snufkin finds all 3 ducklings and returns them to their mother. Afterward, the birds leave the nest, and Snufkin retrieves a key from the nest. His next task is to remove all the signboards inside the park without getting caught by the park officers. Here, Snufkin uses a bird to distract the park officer, diverting their attention. He diverts the officer's attention again, allowing him to grab a key behind him. After exiting the park, Snufkin continues his journey, progressing further. Here, Snufkin utilizes a snake to aid his progress. He picks up a stone from one corner of the tree and then drops it on the opposite corner. Then, he uses it to reach the upper floor. Once he arrives, he meets Moomin Mama, who informs him that Moomintroll is waiting for him on the bridge. Now Snufkin meets Moomin Papa, who instructs him to inquire about his masterpiece and boat with Moomintroll. When he reaches the bridge, he discovers that the river has dried up and the Moomintroll is nowhere to be found. Little Mai informs Snufkin that the Grok monster kidnapped Moomintroll while he was sleeping in his room. Snufkin inquires with the police officers about Moomintroll's kidnapping, but they deny any knowledge, claiming that neither Moomintroll nor the Grok is allowed in the area. He encounters the Grok and must run as fast as possible to evade the monster. When Snufkin reaches the top, he meets Hedgehog, who reveals that he saw Moomintroll with the Grok in the area. He last saw them conversing with some police officers. Following their conversation, Snufkin continues his journey. Now Snufkin needs to extinguish the forest fire. The Groke appears and surprisingly helps Snufkin put out the fire. Hedgehog expresses gratitude to Snufkin and the Groke for saving their home and offering a flute as a reward. Afterward, Snufkin resumes his journey. Here, Sniff requests Snufkin's help in clearing the entrance from the crab, allowing him to rescue his friend Cedric. Then he encounters Muskrat once again, who asks him to gather ingredients for a stew. On his journey, Snufkin meets Tiki, who informs him that Moomintroll has headed towards the Hadafatner's island and that he needs a boat to get there. Tiki offers to help Snufkin build a boat but requires some materials to do so. Later, he encounters an invisible child, Ninny, who requests him to find her clothes. At the park entrance, Snufkin meets a ghost who asks for his help in finding new victims. After that, Snufkin enters the park and lures the park officers one by one toward the ghost. The officers, frightened, run away from the ghost, causing it to grow in size. When Snufkin exits the park, the ghost thanks him for his help and rewards him with a piece of cloth. Afterward, he continues his journey. Here, Snufkin meets Snork, who offers to give him a stick if he can beat him in a game. However, Snufkin needs to find his stick to compete. When the game begins, Snufkin uses a fish to block Snork's stick, allowing his stick to cross the finish line first and win the game. As a reward, Snork gives his stick to Snufkin. Afterward, he continues his journey. Now he meets Moomin Papa, who asks for his help in cutting a wooden log. Once he successfully helps Moomin Papa cut the wood, Moomin Papa thanks him for his assistance and Snufkin proceeds on his journey. The sea creature requests help, as a rope is stuck around its neck. Snufkin assists in removing the rope, and the creature gratefully offers it to him as a reward. After gathering all the necessary materials, Snufkin returns to Tiki, who constructs a boat for him. Snufkin boards the boat and sets off towards the Hadafatner's island. He discovers Moomin Papa's boat on the island. Using a scope, Snufkin spots the pirate ship stuck near the cave entrance. He utilizes a crocodile to cross the water. To progress, the pirate instructs Snufkin to employ the barrels. Snufkin jumps on the barrels to move forward. He meets a Hemulin plant collector who informs him that Moomintroll was there helping him. However, Moomintroll went to convince the park keeper but never returned from there. Snufkin continues his journey. Now he enters a park and removes all the signboards. Afterward, he utilizes a turtle to jump forward. Here he finds a sea creature trapped in a cage. The sea creature requests Snufkin to help him escape and find the hidden objects under the hideout statues. Snufkin destroys the statues one by one and finds a key hidden under one of them. Upon arriving, he discovers the Hemulin plant collector's barometer. The Hemulin plant collector rewards Snufkin with a drum, and he continues his journey. Now he can play the drum to summon animals to his aid. He plays it for a frog here. After reaching the edge of the hill, Snufkin learns that the park keeper has arrested Moomintroll and is transporting him away on their ship. Little Mai informs him that he needs a boat to follow them. To use Moomin Papa's boat, he must first retrieve a sail from the pirate ship stuck near the cave. Little Mai joins him on this journey. Now he utilizes 2 sheep to push the giant rock, clearing the path. Afterward, he finds 2 sheep and uses them to climb upward. Then he employs the crocodile to move forward. He enters the cave to find the treasure hidden within. Now, Snufkin uses a turtle to move forward. He discovers a treasure here, but finds only a note inside. Navigating through the caves, he finally reaches the pirate ship. Now, Snufkin encounters a horse who asks him to find something more beautiful than himself. Afterward, he removes the dirt to retrieve a mirror. He presents the mirror to the horse and then continues his journey. Now, Snufkin collects a sail from the pirate ship and heads towards Moomin Papa's boat. Once there, he installs the sail on the boat. The Snufkin returns to Two Tiki and follows the path to Moominvalley. Along the way, he finds Toffle stuck in a tree. Snufkin helps the bees enter their hive, clearing Toffle's path. Then he assists Toffle in jumping down from the tree. When Snufkin reaches the park keeper's mansion, he finds Moomin Troll trapped in a cage. The park keeper claims that Moomin Troll is captured due to the charges of vandalism. After a brief conversation, Moomin Troll requests Snufkin to free him from prison. The park keeper's cousin reveals that the cell key is located within the mansion, and that the park keeper only leaves the mansion to watch a play at the theater. Now he heads towards the theater, where he finds Moomin Troll standing. Moomin Troll lifts Snufkin onto his shoulders and exits the park from the opposite end, skillfully avoiding all park officers. After exiting the park, both of them reach the park keeper's dam. They discover that the park keeper has been stealing the valley's water through this dam. To restore the water to the valley, Snufkin and Moomin Troll pull the lever together. The water destroys the park keeper's home and all the parks he has created. Finally, Snufkin and Moomin Troll sit on the same bridge where their journey began. The game ends here.